What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Alex Cuesta Show. How's everybody doing out there on this Wednesday, September 18th, 2024, episode 140? Dave, you're still here for some reason. Hi.
Yeah, surprisingly. You know, I'm waiting for the day that Joe copyrights us.
You know what's funny?
I hope he claims it.
I put that up and there was a copyright on YouTube and I was like, oh my God, do I have to go through the whole thing of getting Joe to get express written permission and stuff? But it said this user allows his stuff on YouTube. So, I mean, Hack is just trying to get out there. And if everyone, the intro music, Hack No Cap, if you like that, go follow him on Spotify and everywhere because we've had Hack on the show before. He's one of our good buddies, talented dude.
I'm going to tell him to claim us.
No, don't claim us. Nate, as always, hello. With the fellas, we love that coming in. Nate G, what's going on, buddy? But we're going to jump into the fun stuff right away. If you are watching on X, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you are, hello. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. If you are over on YouTube, give us a like there, comment, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. On X, give us a follow, repost. On Facebook, same thing over there. And most importantly, spread this word of mouth. That is the biggest way that we grow, that we get bigger, and that all the amazing guests that we have can get some shine. Last week's guest, we had on Stefan Krakauer. He is running for the 106th Assembly District over here in New York, my Assembly District, and I had a fantastic time listening to him. I think he's going to be awesome. We need him here to defeat Dee Dee Barrett. If you're in the area, go support, go vote. I want to do what I always do and give a shout out to one of our buddies real quick. We do this occasionally. Brandon Scoopy Robinson. If you're a sports fan, go follow Scoop. He is absolutely crushing it. He just had on Rudy Gay on his show. We just announced that the other day. I have a whole list of people he's having on in the future too, potentially. And it's like, if you're a sports fan, you want to go follow Brandon Scoopy Robinson. I'll tell you that right now. His show is amazing. He has the best people on, and you're going to see some fantastic guests coming in the future. So Scoop is amazing, and go give him some love. Yep. And I want to bring in our guest because I'm excited to have her on. We had on her co-founder and her partner many moons ago before we were live streaming, so we'll definitely have to have her back on at some point. But I am excited to bring on Tina Descovich. She is the co-founder of Moms for Liberty. Tina, what's going on?
Oh, just hanging out 9 p.m. at night online with you guys, looking for some good conversation, I guess.
Yes, we're going to have some fun. So Tina disclosed to me she is already counting her 93rd sheep by this time and ready to be in bed. And I don't blame her, but we appreciate her trooping on, coming over here and being with us. So one thing I do, Tina, that I've been trying to do because it's been memory hold in a lot of the networks, and I want to bring you in because I think this is probably important to everyone. I always like to give a shout out to the fact that we have not seen the Epstein client list yet, that has still been under wraps, and I just think that the more of us continue to talk about it on the internet sphere and the more people start to demand it, the more we're going to get it. So I always like to bring that up, that we don't have it out there, and I feel like it's important to constantly bring it up. So that's just my whole shtick there. I don't know if you have any opinions on what's been going on that we haven't seen that yet.
Well, I think the problem in the media is extensive, and the Epstein list is just, one of many, many things that they overlook, don't report on. The assassination attempt of Donald Trump the first time in Pennsylvania. You heard about it for a day or two and then nothing more. The things they like to harp on are unimportant but flashy, sometimes clickbait, and then the important news that they should be covering, they're negligent on.
Yep, they brushed them under the rug, and it's kind of like they memory hole as many things as they can. And I think that this is definitely one of those things that the rich and the powerful are probably involved here. So that they are not going to win. There's probably a ton of sitting congressmen and congresswomen that are involved. And I'm probably going to get in trouble for that. But I don't care. Because when it comes to kids, little girls being raped and sexually abused, that is something that I'm very passionate about. Having 2 young daughters, that I would never want something like that to happen to them. So I always bring that up. I think it's important that I think we should start a movement that all conservative hosts or people that care about this, not even conservative, if you were just someone that cares about the situation, it should be brought up at the beginning of every single show, every single day until we have answers. But unfortunately, it's not. But we'll keep going because I'm going to try and keep ringing that bell. Maybe someone will listen. But I want to talk to you about your organization. So Moms for Liberty, my God, how you guys have grown from, it hasn't even been that long since you guys started up. And I think it's one of those things where when you have a good and noble cause, people will latch on. And if you're passionate and you're genuine, people will latch on. And we have yourself, we have Tiffany Justice, and you guys have been fighting this fight. When did Moms for Liberty officially start?
January 1st, 2021.
Wow. So in 3 years, you guys are one of the biggest organizations fighting back against basically the abuses of our kids in schools, right? In terms of what goes on behind closed doors that we weren't able to see until COVID kind of brought it to light, right? So I want to ask you, what have been your crowning achievements so far as an organization that you guys hang your hat on right now?
Oh goodness. I can give you the 3-minute elevator pitch and just hit some of the high points. It's really been a remarkable 3.5, almost 4 years. January will be 4 years. We started right here. I'm in my back bedroom right now at my house. We started Moms for Liberty right here on a much older computer, a 10-year-old Mac. I designed our logo on and tried to build our first website. I took $500 and put that logo on some T-shirts and sold them for 100% markup, and then put that money back in and put up some social media pages for free. And within 2 weeks, we were just a phenomenon. A national organization, people wanting to start chapters all over the country. And so it's really, really been a remarkable journey. Some of the highlights and overarching big wins, if I just wanted to categorize them, I would say, and just in the last 2 years, we have won 388 school board seats.
Wow.
We're sitting in across the country. We have 3 moms sitting on boards of education. We have moms that have already won school board seats and moved on to state house seats and are now winning those races and taking those. So building the bench at the base, at the most local level, and we're seeing them move into higher positions. And so really training them up with core principles, foundational principles, and just supporting them and watching them excel. In the last 2 legislative sessions, we have gotten 42 bills signed into law in 12 states. Everything from parental bill of rights to protecting women's sports to opening curriculum and making it more transparent in public schools. We have recently, I guess about 2 months ago now, received an injunction from a federal court. We sued the Biden administration, the Department of Education, in a remarkable ruling. The court ruled that if you are a member of Moms for Liberty, the school your child attends is exempt from having to implement the Biden-Harris administration's just radical Title IX rewrite. And so we've submitted over 5,000 schools so far of our members where their children are attending, and 5,000 schools in this country are exempt right now from implementing those radical changes, which allow boys and girls locker rooms and restrooms and boys on girls sports. And so, the wins just keep coming. I can go on and on and on, but those are some of the high points.
So how do schools get involved with Moms for Liberty if they want to get in with your group so that they can be exempt? And what goes into that process? Does it have to be the parents making the charge, the school board with the superintendent, contacting you guys and getting in there? How does that work?
Yeah, you just become a member of Moms for Liberty, which right now is still free to join Moms for Liberty. You go to momsforliberty.org. You become a national member, and then you go to
all over the place.
Once you become a member, you edit your profile and you add your child's school, and then periodically our IT department pulls all the schools that are in members' profiles and we submit them to the court and they publish them to the Department of Education, and it just keeps continually getting updated.
Now, how does this work with state rulings? Because I know I'm here in New York State, and New York State has their own radical agenda as well. Does what the court ruled supersede what the state does, or does that have to go to the state house in order to get that?
Yeah, this is going to have to be fought at every level, the most local level, the state level, every level. What this does is get the exemption from the Biden's rule.
Gotcha.
And now your Moms for Liberty chapters and parents need to come together in New York and fight it at the state level. Absolutely.
And, I think that's something that as we grow, as you guys grow, it's going to be something that'll be, easier to do, right? As we get more people, and it's not just people on the right, people that have kind of common sense, people that want to protect their kids. And once they start to open up their eyes to what is going on and get some education, then it's something that becomes invaluable to use. So what have been the goals and of Moms for Liberty in terms of, are you guys looking to educate? What are you trying to get out of the schools? And why has it been those goals?
So our mission statement from the day we launched is to save America by unifying, educating, and empowering parents to defend their parental rights at all levels of government. The one thing we know at Moms for Liberty is once the government gets in between the decisions that you're making for your children and gets in between a parent and a child, you've lost your child, you've lost your family, you've lost your community, and ultimately you've lost your country. And so that's the final line in the sand for us. That's what we're fighting at all levels of government, like our mission statement says. We began at the most local level at school boards because Tiffany and I are both former school board members. We like to say we saw behind the education curtain from 2016 to 2020. We saw all the things, all the government overreach, all of the problems with curriculum, all the games school districts play, school board members play. And so when we came off our terms in 2020, we looked at what was happening across America, and parents were starting to wake up because classes were being streamed into their living rooms, and they were like marching down to the school district and the doors were locked, or the Zoom link was cut off or not even sent out, and then they finally got in and were able to complain, and then their mics were getting cut off, and then the FBI was being called on them for complaining.
I mean, you guys started a domestic terrorist organization, didn't you know that? You guys are a bunch of domestic terrorists for loving your children.
It's awful, isn't it awful? And so we thought, let's just form an organization to help parents, to educate them so when they have a place to turn, and so that they could be unified. Because I sat on a school board. I know how the board reacted when one solo parent would come in and complain about something. It just doesn't usually take precedent unless
probably
there's
an eye roll, right? Like, oh, again, they're here. Like, it's the same one. Like,
yeah, I mean, sometimes, but realistically, there's a lot of public comments and a lot of problems in school districts. And so the union comes in, and there's usually a force. I mean, during big issues, there'd be hundreds of them, if not 1,000 of them in red T-shirts, red for ed. You can't ignore that. Yeah. And then, you got a solo parent who's got one concern. It's just, by nature of it, just gets overlooked. So the unifying is extremely important. You have to go in there with numbers, even 5 or 10 people. It's noticeable. I mean, some of our chapters are small, but if you have 5 or 10 people in 20 communities showing up with the same shirt and the same talking points and the same theme, people are starting to now pay attention, and it's just what it takes.
So our buddy Nate G, he's always watches our show. He has a question for you. Is it moms and mom identifying only, or can dads help too?
Yes, dads can help. 7 of our 300 chapters. Oh, I forgot to talk about growth. We started here in Florida, 2 chapters, and we are now in 48 states with over 300 chapters, 130,000 moms and dads and grandparents on the ground. So 7 of those chapters are actually led by dads. They have chapter chairs that are men. They are bold and courageous leaders within, and wear the Moms for Liberty gear. They are comfortable in who they are. We've got one husband and wife team, that kind of tag team. She was chair, then she got pregnant, and he became chair while the baby was young, and now the baby's 6 months, and so now she's chair again, and so if you're a parent, if you're a community member, and you're concerned about what's happening in America and in public schools, Moms for Liberty is the place for you.
And I just think it's fantastic, right? Because if you're watching this and you're a parent and you felt something has been off in your school, you maybe have gone to your parent teacher conference, like where tomorrow I have our curriculum night and I get to listen to it. And I mean, my wife is going to be kicking me under the desk if I hear things I don't like, to be like, not right now. And, it's like one of those things where if you feel like you're alone, if you're afraid to talk to other parents, the Moms for Liberty chapter is the place to go. If you think something is wrong, and it's something that if you call this out, you might get ostracized, you feel like something like that, that's where you need to go if you have a chapter near you, because more than likely what you feel is what other parents feel and was what they're feeling over at the Moms for Liberty chapter. So it's just one of those things that it's kind of, to use one of their terms, it is a safe space for people who have common sense in education again.
And it just feels good to be around people that have common sense. And you don't have to say some of those things even out loud. It just feels good to be around each other. And courage is contagious. You get more courage if you've got 4 people standing there with you that have your back. It's really a lonely place to stand at a school board meeting when there's 20 people from the teachers union heckling you and people booing you, school board members, not looking at you, rolling their eyes with disdain, maybe even, belittling you and cutting you down. And so it's important to find your people, and Moms for Liberty is the place where you can find your people.
Yeah. Especially because it's one of the goals of the linguistic games they play, whether they know it subconsciously or they're just doing it and just walking through the motions. But it's one of the games that they play linguistically in order to make people feel like outcasts, make them feel like they're alone, make them feel like no one's really sharing that kind of attitude towards what they're doing. What are you talking about? This is just progress. This is normal.
Yeah.
So you need people like in Moms for Liberty, where it's just like, no, we feel like this is wrong. This isn't actually progress, and in fact hurts our kids.
Definitely. So if I'm a parent and maybe I don't want to be like super involved, but I still want to help out and I still want to do something, what's the best way to help out Moms for Liberty? Is there any way they can donate to chapters? Because I know something like this, probably there is some funding that is involved, right, to get some of the things done. So how can I help if I'm a parent and maybe I don't necessarily want to be outspoken, but I still want to make a difference? What can I do?
The number one thing that can help us, honestly, is funding. It is not cheap to do the work that we do. And we are up against teachers unions day in and day out. They have hundreds of millions of dollars. That most of that money is literally just taken from teachers. Some don't even agree with the garbage they stand for and what they're doing and the candidates they're giving all their money to, but it's hundreds of millions of dollars. And then there's Moms for Liberty over here, and we get a $5,000 donation and we have to report it to the IRS, and they are all up in arms. Oh, they got this big dark money. I'm like,
dark money, that's my favorite phrase.
Yeah, we've got nothing compared to you. So momsforliberty.org, there's a donate button on there. We could use the support. Local chapters are independent and they can use your support. They have no funding at all. A lot of those moms in the local chapters dip into their own bank account to supply cookies or whatever for chapter meetings or to rent the space for a chapter meeting. And they could, $10 helps them. So if you go to momsforliberty.org, you actually can click on the map and find your local chapter. And when you find your local chapter, you can connect to their webpage, and each of those web pages has a donate button for their own chapter too. So there's lots of ways to help. If financial help is not what you want to do and you do want to plug in, there's so many things you can do in your chapter. You don't have to be front and center. You don't have to speak at a school board meeting. You don't have to have your name publicized, although I do encourage everybody to be bold and to be brave and to stand by your convictions. But I do know some people are concerned about their jobs or their spouse's jobs. And so, no judgment here. There's plenty of things to do behind the scenes, sending out newsletters, secretary work, treasurer, keeping the bank records for your local chapter, writing postcards and thank you notes. And there's just endless work that you can do either behind the scenes or forward facing.
And also, if you could look right here, Dave is scrolling through. This is the Moms for Liberty store. You can absolutely help this way as well. There's some awesome shirts, the We the Parents shirts, just Moms for Liberty, just regular swag. We do not co-parent with the government. There's some awesome shirts and swag for men and women there, hats. I mean, you guys have a nice catalog growing here, and I like it. Yeah, the ties there. The dad one for any of the dads. Nate, you were saying if dads can help, there we go. You could rock some of that stuff. I might be ending up buying multiple shirts, especially like the original Moms for Liberty and We the Parents. I think those are absolutely awesome. So this is definitely another way that you can help out. So I have a question. Are you guys considering yourselves a nonpartisan organization, or is it something where say we have a local chapter and they need some help? Can they hook up with the local conservative or GOP committee to maybe do a joint fundraiser together? Is that something that isn't encouraged?
Yeah, we don't encourage joining a local political party for a fundraiser per se, but you can work together on a variety of things. The national team went to the Republican convention. We were willing to go to the Democrat convention, but they didn't really want us there. So
you were better off not going to Chicago, okay?
Yeah.
That is not the place to be for that going on right there.
Well, Milwaukee was great, and we did a massive town hall there, right on the outskirts of the perimeter.
Fantastic.
Where we had Governor DeSantis and Governor Sanders and 3 attorneys general, and it was a great town hall. It was a packed room, standing room only, over 800 people in there, and it was a good time. So we can do events and be affiliated with political parties in that fashion, but we don't want to commingle money or funds or anything of that nature because we are a nonprofit, nonpartisan organization.
Gotcha. It makes sense. So I got to throw in Nate G here. He's putting in Randy Weingart as one of the worst humans on earth. Yes, I tend to agree with you, Nate.
Yeah. She's a pretty bad person.
How many times has she tried to come after you guys personally? Every day.
We can talk about tweets and things of that nature. X posts and things of that nature.
She has a quote in this article that I have up.
Or you can talk about, her collaboration, her affiliation. I don't know what word you want to use with the Biden administration. How many times, her and her cohorts have visited the White House, and then, lo and behold, something happens to Moms for Liberty a few days later, like the Southern Poverty Law Center, when they declared us an anti-government extremist group. They had visited the Biden White House 6
You're
times.
Such a joke.
6 times leading up to us being an anti-government extremist group and on their hate map. And so they're all in cahoots together. The Teachers Union, the Southern Poverty Law Center, the Biden-Harris administration. They're just weaponizing the government, who's aligning with the powerful Teachers Union, who's aligning with these nonprofit agencies. And so they've come after us, and then with the media, let's just throw them in there too. They have come after Moms for Liberty with everything they have. The power of the federal government, these nonprofit organizations, the media has just slaughtered us, but we don't stop. We're not going to stop. This is for our kids. And we know we're right. We're standing up for our children. We're standing up against failing public education, and we want to make it better. And so they can just keep on and keep on. Yeah. We don't care. We just keep going.
There's the same teachers union that loves being teachers so much that they wanted to keep the schools closed for as long as possible. As long as they could keep it closed, they were going to keep it closed, and they're going to work with the government to keep them closed.
The demands were disgusting. Los Angeles Teachers Union, I don't know if you remember, they said they would open after the police were defunded.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
In LA. Yeah. But it's like, and I think
Chicago had crazy ones too.
Chicago, they all had nutty ones.
The Chicago ones were the ones in the islands, like sunbathing on the beach. And then at the same time, they were getting messages saying that it wasn't safe to, go back to school. It's just awful.
And, you guys and Moms for Liberty, what you guys are doing are the best example why the Department of Education needs to be eliminated, right? Because it's like, here we are. This is your constituents, federal government, that are having an issue with what you are doing. And instead of sitting there and going as a government should, but then again, they are not elected over at the Department of Ed. They are assigned bureaucrats. But even them, they are supposed to be servants of the state, right? Servants of the people. And
they're going to act like it.
And they don't act like it. But here they should sit there and look and go, hey, this is a movement of 1,000 strong at this point, with parents concerned. Maybe we should be looking into our public school systems, and instead of throwing money at it, inviting Tina and Tiffany to come and talk to us and say, hey, what are your concerns? You guys obviously have something from the ground level that's coming up. And even if they don't actually listen to you, just to have you guys in there would be like at least showing an olive branch, like, hey, we get it. We're hearing you. Let's hear what you have to say. We might ignore you, but at least let's hear it. Whether instead it's just like, no, teachers unions, bullseye them. Biden, bullseye them. Like, and it's obviously showing that they have no interest in listening to the parents or the people at all.
It doesn't make any sense because both Tiffany and I have lots and lots of really great ideas. We served on school boards. Like in my district, we had a school that was either a D or an F school for 10 years. Wow. And the year that I chaired the school board, we got it up to a C for the first time in 10 years.
That's awesome.
That was with a lot of hard work. And a lot of things that we tried worked and didn't work, but things can be done to improve education in America. So you said, you said something like Moms for Liberty is proof of one of the reasons the Department of Education should be dismantled. But I'm going to go ahead and say the biggest reason the Department of Education should be dismantled is it's not helping education.
It's made it worse, actually.
Yeah. We had the lowest reading score since the 1980s, and it launched in the late 79, I think.
I think it was Carter is the one that brought it in.
Yeah, and the lowest math scores ever in the history of the United States. So what are they doing? They are ruining and destroying, between them and the teachers union, they are destroying public education. And you know what they do? They flip it around and point the fingers at us and say, we're trying to destroy public education. We're the ones with kids in public education. We're trying to save it. We want it to be good. We're trying to fix it. And it's just so backwards.
Well, and the thing is, I mean, looking at charitable light, they're just messing up entirely, and they're trying with good intentions. But you look at another light, and with some of the things they say, it's just like, well, they don't want parents to actually be in charge of what their kids are learning. This is actually good in their direction. They want kids to be churned out and only thinking in their type of way and not really listening to their parents. So, I mean, it makes it even more important for things like Moms for Liberty, because we need to get these people away from kids who want to grab them away from their parents.
Well, if you look at the goals of the teachers union, look at I think last summer, their AFT and so Randy and her cohorts and the NEA, their summer agenda schedules that they vote on at their convention. There was nothing to do with education, nothing to do with student achievement or student learning. They were voting on international relations, their stance on Israel, how they felt about
sustainability model from the UN probably in there.
Yeah, all of these things that have nothing to do with education at all.
Yep.
And so, is it intentional that they're trying to destroy public education? I don't know. It sure seems that way with all the decisions that they make.
I don't know what else I would do different.
They're just so off mission. They got so powerful that they were able to influence everything outside of education. And so they just kept grabbing and growing and more money and more power. They're all over the place. And, they're radical liberals. And so they're just spreading their policies and investing them all over the place. And meanwhile, public education is just falling to the wayside. Nobody's paying attention except for now, thank goodness, parents.
Yep. So here's the problem, because we can get into the weeds, and I know you probably know the literature, especially from getting to know James Lindsay and things like that, and listening to a lot of those things with Paulo Freire and the things that he brought over, and basically talking about the UN sustainability goals and all that, and how that's been infused. And now we can see it's plain as could be. They don't want to educate the kids; they want to make them global citizens, which is why we see them voting on all these things. But if I'm just a layman's parent that doesn't care about the literature, doesn't want to look at any of this stuff, doesn't want to hear all these technical terms, what is your pitch to them to at least, try to get educated about some of this stuff? Because most parents don't have, they say they don't have the time, right? They'll go and they'll watch their favorite sitcom every single night. They'll have time to do that, but they don't have the time to invest in, maybe reading that one peer review paper that's 10 pages long, right? To understand or learn some keywords. So what is your pitch to some of the parents out there that says, yeah, this sounds kind of nefarious, but also crazy too? How do you wake some of them up?
So we are very aware of that problem. And I'm not sure if you knew this yet, but we are launching next month M for LU. That's Moms for Liberty U. And we're taking one issue a month and presenting it in a way, digging in with classes, 101, 102 webinar classes. There'll be a book for the month. There'll be white papers put out. There'll be videos and summary links all around each issue. We've got 30 months planned out to do this. And so
when is this launching again? I'm sorry.
It is launching next month in October.
Next month. I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, we are very excited about it. Our head of resources has been working diligently to pull all this together to begin to launch this, because we know that it's so much. You said they want to go home and watch a sitcom. Well, of course they do. They've probably worked all day, came home, picked kids from up school, made dinner, and then to sit down and try to and try to comprehend James Lindsay for 2 hours. I mean, it's your brain can't do it.
He's a graduate graduate level course. Like that is listening to James is not, and I think that James is great for people willing to kind of take that in, but we need more people. Like you listen to James, you listen to Dr. Jordan Peterson, you listen to these people and they're all big brain, higher level. I feel like something like what you're doing, which can kind of bring it into more of the 101 and maybe here's an excerpt why. And if you're interested, go read more. Like that is, I think, something incredible that we have needed for a long time. And I think that's fantastic. I'm excited for that. Now, here's the thing. We need more people to join on that train, though. We need people like Hillsdale to be wanting to affiliate with you guys, right? Because Hillsdale College is absolutely amazing. We need Dr. Peterson. They're making Peterson U. There needs to be some collaboration where we have these great free thinking areas all coming together. Now, I know you guys are trying to do your own thing as well, but I would just love to see where all these universities, yes, they do their own thing, but they're all together, right? They all have the same mission, where you guys have the mission to bring this stuff to layman's terms. Dr. Peterson is doing that in a lot of ways with Peterson U. Hillsdale has been amazing with all their courses. I would love to see you guys all working together. Has there been any talk about a collaboration between all of you?
Not at that level, not for the M4LU.
Okay.
I know that Robin, our head of resources, has reached out to Dr. Peterson's team and some others, wanting to bring them in for the webinar portions that we were going to do, or some of the live interactive trainings we want to do. And so hopefully all those doors will open and they will want to work with us and collaborate, because I do think, I think you're correct. And there's a level with James and Jordan and some others that can really bring some depth of knowledge to the stuff that we're doing, and then we can translate it into mom language right after they're done speaking, and present it in a way that moms can take it in bites, and it's palatable, and they can understand, and they can see it in the assignments that and in the textbooks, and we can take it and we can say, and this is where you go look in your child's school for this. This is the policy that you're looking for, or this is the policy that you need to work with your school board to fight this.
These are the words that you're looking, keywords.
Dr. Peterson is telling you this is happening. Well, if you go work with your new school board members and present this resolution or policy, it's going to stop what Dr. Peterson is talking about. And so we really want to take all that's happening and empower parents to fight it and defeat it at the most local level. So
when this launches officially next month, I want you to remind me, because I want to give it a blast out. Okay, I want to share it on screen live. And if there's any codes or discounts and deals, please share it to me so I can share it out to our audience so we can get more people. And, occasionally I'll continue to blast it out, because I feel like that is something that it's important for any of the parents. I want to jump quickly. Nate G's super involved today, and I love it. I want to put out, he says, that's a good sign when every evil organization goes against you. That is very true. United States has gone from 1st to 29th in the world since the inception of the DOE. He said, without the DOE, who will listen to Taylor Swift about who to vote for? And lastly, he wants to know if you read John Taylor Gatto yet.
I have not.
Okay. Actually, I haven't read John Taylor Gatto yet. I've heard it around, but I feel like it's someone that eventually I'll get around to, but it's something there. So I love everything that Moms for Liberty is doing. I think you guys are an incredible organization. So I think people need to continue to support you guys if you can in any which way. Support. Dave, what do you have there? Would you have on there? Nothing? Okay. Forget about Dave. All right. So I want to jump into our next topic, the 4-state action plan. So what is the 4-state action plan, Tina?
Yeah. So as I said, our mission statement is all levels of government. Well, it turns out that our moms really want to get involved in flipping their school boards, replacing their school board members. And it turns out when they do that, they end up impacting the entire ballot, all the way up ballot. Historically, people have focused on presidential races, Senate races, things at the top of the ticket. Yeah. And, they'll vote for president. They may vote for a senator, or maybe a congressman, hardly ever a state rep. By the time you get down to school board, it's like
50 votes, you get 10 of them to flip, you have a school board member.
Yeah, maybe they vote for it. They have no idea who it is. If they do vote for it, they pick the best name or the first person. And so what we're trying to do at Moms for Liberty, and what we've proven we can do, is we make the most popular race the school board race. And when you're that engaged in what's happening with parental rights and public education, you now know who your state legislators are, and you're very plugged into who your congressmen and senator are, and you absolutely know which presidential candidate supports parental rights. And so we last fall did a case study in Ohio where we compared 30 school board races. We took 10 that we were not involved in at all, and we tracked them. We tracked the candidates that looked like candidates we would probably endorse, and we tracked the turnout in their races. Then we took 10 races where our chapters endorsed, but that was it. They were able to use our name. Our chapters probably put it out on social media that they were endorsed by Moms for Liberty, and that's all our involvement. And then we tracked 10 school board races where we took our Moms for Liberty pack and we went in and we trained our chapters how to knock doors. We sent out a mailer. We did a few texts, robocalls, things of that nature. And what we found in Ohio last fall is that we increased voter turnout by 35%.
That is really good. Massive for a school board, because that's an overwhelming victory for that member. Because like I said, if your biggest school boards are maybe getting 100 votes, that's not a lot. So if you can get 35% more,
it's different crazy. In New York. Like Florida, we only have one school district per county. So in my county, for example, there's 9,000 employees, 75,000 students. In my one district, which was a fifth of the county, I think there's 80,000 voters. So it's different here than in New York and in other places. But to increase voter turnout by that level, and we targeted voters that historically have not voted. And so we now are doing that in 4 states. We're doing that right now for the November election in the whole state of Georgia, North Carolina, Wisconsin, and Arizona. We have a massive undertaking happening. We have been growing Moms for Liberty just exponentially in those 4 states for the last 5 months. We've gotten over 25,000 people to sign up for Moms for Liberty in each of those states just in the last probably 90 days. We have modeled people that haven't traditionally voted, and we are working to educate them right now on issues with Title IX, local issues that are happening in their school districts. Our chapters in those states are endorsing school board candidates like crazy right now. Amazing. And we're going to do what we can to turn the vote out for November for candidates that support parental rights and are concerned about public education in America.
So I think once you guys are done being successful here, you guys and Scott Pressel need to go and do seminars on how to get people out to vote, because that's incredible. People don't realize how difficult it is to get a 2 percentage bump, a 1 percentage bump in voting, because people don't want to get out and vote. People want to sit there and see the result and hope that it went their way. People don't want to get out and do that. So to encourage people and to educate them enough on why it is important for them to get out and vote, I mean, it's fantastic just what you guys have been able to accomplish there. So that's amazing that, you're trying to get everything going. So what are the keys to success when you are trying to go out and convince somebody who doesn't want to be out there, maybe doesn't think it's important, maybe doesn't have kids in the school system, right? Maybe they are an elder, they're outside, they might not have grandkids, they might just be living there. How do you try and convince some of these people that it's worth getting out there to make that change in their community?
I think when you expose what's going on, it motivates people to impact change. And so we do a lot of that. Like I said, we micro target into communities. This is what's happening at your school at the end of your street. There are 4 boys right now that are changing in the girls' locker room. And the principal George, that you guys all know, says there's nothing he can do about it because of state law. Or he says that he doesn't care what state law is. He's going to make sure these boys can change in that, whatever's going on. we expose it. We're not fear mongering. We're not making stuff up. We just share the information. This is the book that's in the library, your public school library, that second graders have access to right now. Here's the book. Knocking your door. Let me show you what the 8-year-old down the street can see in their public school library. And ordinary people, they want to do something about it when they see the things that are going on. The stuff that's going on is, nobody believes it. That's why you have to bring the books with you. They're like, no, that's not really happening in our school, or the books aren't really that bad. You're just trying to get rid of Tom Sawyer and I'm like, oh, no. Let me show you exactly what's in your school. And when you do that, you just, if you're a normal, humane person, you cannot be silent.
No.
It's like I said, once you start to expose it, it doesn't seem real what they are trying to do to kids. I read most of Genderqueer because I was able to find it. I couldn't get through the whole thing. It's disgusting. It's like just a gross, and it's all it is this young lady writing about being abused as a child. That's all genderqueer is. And it's being put in schools for kids to read. And that is just one of the many books that I think it's Abigail Schreier does a great job of categorizing the books as well and bringing those to light along with you guys. So that's the best way to do it. So that has to be difficult at times too, to start to expose these to parents and to people and to see, because you guys are courageous and brave to continue to talk about all these disgusting things sometimes that are going on. But again, it's for the kids. And it's important. Nate G came with some illumination on who John Taylor Gatto is. I think this person might be interesting for you guys. He's a former NYC Teacher of the Year, multi-time. Spent decades teaching, quit teaching at his peak to write and tour the country talking about how broken the schools are. The book is Weapons of Mass Instruction. So that could be something cool for you guys to link up with. So I want to jump in to the politics side of things, because obviously what you guys are doing shouldn't be political, because it's education and it's kids, but it's unfortunately become political. Mm-hmm. So how important is this next federal election for you guys at Moms for Liberty?
Let me be clear. The Biden-Harris administration has put a target on moms' backs all across the country. This election couldn't be more clear between an administration that literally has weaponized the government against parents that have done nothing except speak up for their children. And the other side of the ticket, we've got President Trump, who signed our parent pledge. Like, we have a pledge that says, I'll do everything I can to protect the rights of parents to raise their kids. It's very simple. It's one paragraph. Donald J. Trump signed that pledge. And then you have
Biden, Harris, Biden.
Yeah, what can you even say?
Harris, I'm talking about Tim Walz. His decisions and policies that he has supported and signed into law in his state. It's one of the most anti-parent states in the country. And so the dichotomy, the contrast between Harris Watts and Donald J. Trump and that administration, there's hands down. Oh gosh, you're going to have Tiffany. Are you going to play her?
There was also this. If we want to go off vibes, Trump actually participated, and just look at how jovial.
There you go.
No, I didn't have sound in it.
Yeah.
Look at how incredible that is.
Yeah. The Trump dance. I love getting the Trump dance. Like, that is so. If he wins, can we get video of all you guys doing the Trump dance?
Well, I mean, we can try. I have no say in what President Trump does. He's his own guy, but yes, I think we could put in that request for sure, because he is a parental rights champion. Yes. And JD Vance, a parental rights champion. He has small children. He's very concerned about the future of our country for his children, and so. 4 more years of the types of things that went on and are going on right now with the Biden-Harris administration, with the weaponization of government, with free speech, with speech being clamped down on. I don't know how much longer our country can survive that type of tyranny, really. So that's my 2 cents on that.
And it's a thing too. It's like, I feel like your organization would thrive even if the federal government would just be neutral and get out of the way, right? Like, it's like, even if you guys were just able to operate on your own and battle, and the federal government wouldn't be there, the FBI wouldn't be called on parents, and they wouldn't be making these public statements that make you guys seem like monsters or make the parents seem like monsters. Even then, it would be a better situation. Like, you don't need a federal government that's actively involved and going crazy. It helps, don't get me wrong. But even if they were to just be like, hey, whatever goes on in the states, if it's a independent organization that wants to fight against this, each state could pick their own battles. Moms for Liberty could do what they want. And that would be just, better, so much better than what you guys have going on right now.
But they can't do that because they're in bed with the teachers unions, and we threaten the balance of power of the teachers unions, and not because we have those types of funds, but because we have the ground game, and we're creating and growing activist parents that are waking up to the control the teachers union has had. The teachers union have been electing their members to school boards across the country for decades. And they literally have a stranglehold on every school in the country because they elect themselves to the board. And then who goes to the negotiating table? The teachers union that just got elected with the teachers union. There's no one there representing parents or children. They're negotiating with each other, not just on salary. So which is, pulling a fast one on the taxpayer, but they're negotiating on when school open and when it close and when school starts and stop times. And if there's going to be half days and all the school policies, they're all negotiated now in that contract. There's nobody representing families, not a single person. And so we're upsetting that balance of power. They can't have it because all of their money goes into the Democrat Party all the way up to the federal government, to presidential candidates. And so they're just tied together like this. And so they'd have to come after us so that they can keep having their funding from the teachers union. It's one big ugly circle.
Yep.
And so what everyone should be hearing right now, if you're listening to this, support Moms for Liberty, support Tina and Tiffany and all those chapters, because it is something where, especially if you're listening to this show, more than likely you agree with a lot of the things that we believe in, a lot of things we say. And if that's the case, put your money into politics if you have a candidate, but put your money into this. Even if you could spare $5, if you're looking at what you could spend and you want to spend 50 and donate 50 to a candidate somewhere, cut that in half, give them 25. Give Moms for Liberty 25 because they need this and they are fighting a fight where they're getting results. That politician is going to win your vote, is going to go to wherever the hell they go. And they're going to, if they're at the state level, the state lobbies, federal level, the federal lobbies, they're going to fight whatever they could do, but they are hamstrung. Moms for Liberty is an independent organization, a not-for-profit that will fight for the things you believe in, and they've already gotten the results to prove it. There is no corruption. Tina's as real of a person as you get. We are keeping her here when she wants to freaking sleep. She's doing her thing to make sure
so
that
gracious.
we can get this voice out. No, you look fantastic. Stop it, Tina. But overall, this is the people that we should be supporting. People like this who are just average people. Tina and Tiffany should be wealthy individuals by the time this is done because they would deserve every single cent for going to war for the right cause. So listen, I firmly believe that if you're doing the right thing, you should be, you should reap the benefits of what you're selling, right? This should be one of the biggest organizations in the country, and you and Tiffany should be able to sit at the top
the way it's growing, it's
mansion going, we still want to create more and make it better, okay? And I know that's not what you and Tiffany are there for, but it's absolutely what you two deserve for what you guys have grown. So I think that we need to keep on ringing the bell. We need to get people out there to Moms for Liberty U when that comes out to get educated. And we will continue to do everything we can on this small show, our little slice of heaven over here, to get the word out. So, Tina, I do not want to keep you much longer. We appreciate all the time that you have given us. Thank you so much for coming on.
I appreciate the time you've given me tonight. It's been my pleasure to talk about Moms for Liberty and this opportunity. Thank you.
So once again, if you want to find Moms for Liberty, it's at Moms for Liberty on X, on Instagram. If you go onto YouTube as well, you can go over to Facebook and just search Moms for Liberty. It'll be there. You can go find that. And if you want to go find Tina, you can go find her on X at Tina Descovich over there and also on Instagram. So we appreciate everything you guys are doing. We appreciate you coming on. If you want to go find us, you can go look for us at the Alex Cuesta Show everywhere. We thank everyone for watching that has watched tonight on X, on Facebook, on YouTube. And once again, Dave and I never ask for money for ourselves. We don't care. We don't need to get famous. We don't need to make money. But I would like, if you ever consider giving us money, give it to Tina and Moms for Liberty instead.
Yes!
And then if you have a little bit left over, then throw it to us. But the first major donation, go there because they're going
singular dollar is fine.
Really honestly, anything you can give to them, because if everyone that, everyone that's going to vote for Trump gives $1, they make $70 million. So there we go. That's how we got to put this. Everybody that's going to vote for Trump gives $1 to Mom for Liberty as well. You could spare $1. They're making tens of millions of dollars, and they are able to fight a battle and win a battle against a government corrupt agency. So there we go. That should be the new plea. If you're going to vote, maybe I'll do that. Since you guys are nonpartisan, I'm going to tell everyone all the time, just that should be the phrase that we should use. If you're going to vote for Trump, give $1 to Moms for Liberty.
I will. I agree with you. I can't even tell you what we would do with that kind of money. If we've been able to do and accomplish what we've been able to do and accomplish with what little funds we've had so far, Gosh, the impact we could have with that kind of money.
We would have independent thinkers being in schools that are actually properly run and people that listen to others. What a change.
Yeah.
What a change. So once again, we thank everybody for watching. We thank everyone for listening if you listen to this in podcast form. Later, Tina's fantastic. We have more great guests coming on in the following weeks. Everyone, thank you so much. So long, y'all.